Let me welcome you to my channel, Dudu Wezang. My name is Dudu Wezang, Dudu for short. And I'd like to invite you into one of our talks or conversations where we are going to be talking about adulting anxiety. Adulting anxiety or anxiety that is caused by adulting. If you haven't heard this term before, adulting, it's really a term that people use to define, now moving on to adolescent to adulthood and some of the expectations that you now have to do as an adult or some of the accomplishments that need to be done because the person would have been a child all along being taken care of or being under the care of a caretaker, a parent, whatever that could be. And now they now have to be on their own sort of, and to really find their own way where some people can even be thinking of, now I want to think about my own family or making my own family and so on. So that would be adulting. It can also involve issues such as, what is my career? Where do I need to be in terms of my career and so on. So it's the expectations or the accomplishment of tasks that we have to do in adulthood. So that is adulting. It's one of the terms that has been growing in the past years where people have been coming up with videos about adulting 101, where people offer people tips about how to do this thing, adulting, where people also share their experiences of what adulting is, just to really help somebody who has been struggling with this thing of adulting to to really come to be empowered or to really come to be able to deal with it, so that they can really live a fulfilled adulting life. And then the adulting anxiety would then have to be the worry that comes with adulting or the worry that comes with being in this phase of adulting. I mean, it can be something so simple such as, after you graduate, you expect that you're going to get a job, move into your own place, pay your own bills and so on, save up to buy a car, to buy a house or to build a house and so on. And then the anxiety around that when you feel that, I'm not really fulfilling the expectations that I had about being in this phase. So I want to say before we go anywhere that adulting anxiety is quite a normal thing. I mean, if you haven't gone through adulting before, it only makes sense that you may feel a bit worried or anxious when things are not going according to what you expect, because it's something that is new to you. Unless if you have gone through adulting before, you have been an adult, then you went back to be an adolescent, and then you came back to be an adult, and you are struggling. If that's the case, then no, something is absolutely, it's not normal. Something is absolutely not right. But because that rarely ever happens, I've never heard of it happening. Because that doesn't happen, adulting anxiety is quite a normal thing. We are trying to figure out life. Remember, when we grow up, we have all these ideas about where you are going to be, and sometimes we are sort of sensitized into it by other people's expectations, usually in the form of older people, where they tell us, when you grow up, you're going to have your own family, you're going to have your own job, you must pay your own bills, and so on. So we are sort of, sensitized into, what adulting could be. But when you really get to the phase where you are in it and it doesn't seem like, what you have been told, then it can cause that worry. So that is adulting, and that is adulting anxiety. It is quite a normal thing. If you're experiencing it, let me tell you something, you're not the only one. And there's so many other people who are struggling with it. But I'm just going to help you today to become aware of some of the things that can cause adulting anxiety, so that if it's the case for you, then you can learn to protect yourself from those, and really cover yourself from them, so that the anxiety doesn't get overwhelming, where now you become defeated by it without really becoming empowered or really being encouraged by it, and then moving forward. So the reasons that I've thought of, the first reason that I've thought of about what really causes anxiety in adulting is number one, social media. I think this thing, honestly, of social media, we are aware of the impact of social media in our lives. Social media is a very powerful tool that can really encourage us and shape us into becoming the best individuals possible. But there's really another side of social media which isn't so good. It can be a bit toxic, and it can really be a bit dangerous to our growth, and to our health, especially our mental health. So I will be talking mainly about the toxic side of social media. Let us be honest. In the beginning, okay, I'm not too sure what was happening in the beginning, but along the way, as a social media was introduced, it then turned into a platform where we sort of show off, and that's fine. We show off for different reasons. Some people show off because some people didn't believe in them, so they want to show that I've made it. Some people put out accomplishments as a form of saying, I want to encourage someone to get to the place where I am, or even far. Sometimes it's genuinely to say, what, I really want to use this platform to show that I've made it in life, which is a bit similar to the first one, but to really show off and being genuine about it. So because our reasons about using social media and portraying our accomplishments on them our reasons are different. I can't really say why people do the things that they do, but I can say that as somebody who is trying to figure out adulting, where they look at other people's lives and they look at their own lives, they may feel, my life is a mismatch with how everyone else's life is going on. I see people graduating, I see people getting jobs, I see people getting married, but I'm just here where there isn't any progress. I'm just here where it's like my life is stagnant, where I'm not happy, and I see people being happy. When will I really get to this place where I need to be? That reminds me, I did a video on this. When will I get to the place where I need to be? Check it out if you haven't heard it yet. And with that, in that video, I quoted David G. Allen, who said, patience is the calm acceptance that things are not happening according to the way that we want them to happen. So social media can really make you feel impatient, and it can really make you feel like it can really make you compare yourself to other people, because you're like, I see that so and so's place, our life is here, but mine is here. How come I'm not at that place? What is it about me that is different? Maybe I wasn't meant for nice things. Some people are meant for nice things and I'm not. And because of that, it can really then create a lot of worry in us, where we feel, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy of good things, I can't even make it, I don't think I have the ability in me to make it, and so on. And then it can really create that worry. And if that worry is created, it can get out of hand and then lead on to other issues such as depression, where we see that most of the people that are depressed are usually the youth, in this adulting phase, because of the different circumstances that they face. So once that happens, and the anxiety is really not contained, then it can lead to more serious issues, where now somebody can be diagnosed with an anxiety disorder, where they can be diagnosed with a mood disorder, different types of mood disorders, depending on what the worry is really centered around. So, social media then sets that platform for comparison. You look at other people's lives, you look at your own, and you're like, I'm not where they are. What is wrong with me? And sadly, we cannot say to people that no, don't post your accomplishments. As I said, people have a right to post what they want to on our platforms, and it's fine. it is each and everyone's responsibility to say, if you are going through somebody's profile and at the end of the day you don't feel so good about yourself, it's okay to say what you to say, you know what, I am choosing to unfollow this person, I am choosing to unmute this person, I am choosing to block this person. So if that's the case where you feel, you know, I really don't feel so good about this person's life. I thought their lives would inspire me, but it's making the opposite. Instead of that inspiration, I'm looking at myself and feeling they have made it. Their life is so awesome, and my life just isn't the best. So it's okay to do that. And I think I also need to say that if somebody has unfollowed you or unmuted you, it's fine. Stop asking people to not do that. I mean, at the end of the day, it is each and every person's responsibility to take care of their health, their mental health, their heart, and their mind. So if they feel that your page is not doing that to them, it's not building their mental well-being, it's not adding anything to their heart, or it's not really encouraging their heart and their minds, then let it be. It's fine. There are some people who would be encouraged by your content, and that is fine. So it is okay to say, you know what, I think it's a very mature thing, or it's an adulting thing to say, you know what, I am choosing not to follow this person even when everybody else is talking about them. To me, this is the effect that they have on me, and I don't like the effect. um Sometimes, and it's quite a hard thing. I really get impressed by people who can take a year of WhatsApp or a year of social media platforms, because they are realizing the effect that it has on them. Okay, so it's quite important that when you are in a new phase that you don't understand, you only surround yourself with things that are encouraging and empowering to you. If something is draining you, it's making you even feel more confused about the role that you are entering into, then it's okay to say, for some time, I am going to pull away from this, just for me to be able to figure this out. I cannot figure it out if there's all these other things that are adding to the worry and to the burden that I feel in my heart. Okay, so the second reason why that causes that adulting anxiety is expectations, particularly other people's expectations that we take on as our own without really thinking about it, without really having a frank conversations with ourselves, or that introspective conversation, and saying, I expect one, two, three about what adulting should be. But you know, with this expectation, is it really my expectation? Is it helpful for me to expect this? Or is it not helpful for me to expect this? If it's not helpful, why am I holding on to this expectation? Whose expectation is this? And I'm sorry that it could be that I'm bashing caretakers and parents, especially also with my previous video. But you know, these are people that through our childhood and adolescent ages or years, they really have an influence into shaping who we want to become. And yes, they can shape our expectations of where we need to be as an adult. You know, something so simple as, you know, when you are growing up, your mother or your father will be like, you're going to grow up one day, have your own house, and you are going to know how to clean it. Go to something so small. It may look like, yes, the parent is really trying to talk to you about cleaning, but at the end of the day, it's telling you that as an adult, you are going to need to have a house, and you are going to need to clean it at this time. If you don't do it, then it means you are failing, and so on. In a way, I'm sorry, but in a way, it can communicate that to someone. I'm not saying on any of these is wrong. I'm just saying, you know, what are some of the things that build our expectations about what adulting is? Because it's those expectations that when you are now finally in adulting, you are going to use them as a guide to say, I'm in a new role in my life. what do I need to be, or where do I need to be? Then you say, oh, I was told that as an adult I need to do 1, 2, 3. How come I am not doing 1, 2, 3? And then you start to get worried. So I hope it's clear. I'm really not bashing the expectations. I'm just saying, sometimes when our expectations are put on us and we are not living up to those expectations, then it is what causes the anxiety within us. So little things about that have been said about what to expect in adulthood. They can then build up, and when we get to adulthood, we look at where those expectations are and where we are. If there's a mismatch, it creates that anxiety. So it's quite important for you to really sieve out, to sieve. You do know a sieve, like a sieve, careful, like a sieve. A sieve, you put something in it and then it sieves out all the particles that remain on the top are the ones that you don't want, and then you can throw them away. But everything that remains in the bottom is what we want. So our minds should be like a sieve. When we receive things in them, we should only receive what we want to keep in us, and the things that we don't want, they remain at the top of that sieve, then we can throw them out. So it's okay to even have a sieving moment, or a sieving session where you're like, I'm in this place in adulting and I'm worried about adulting. I'm anxious about adulting because these are my expectations. Which expectations am I going to really carry? And which expectations am I really going to throw out? Which ones do I really think are helpful for me, and which ones are not helpful? And I think when you are having that session, you should also take into consideration the fact that our expectations won't always happen the way that we want them to. So the timing of our expectations won't always be the same. So it's quite important to make a little accommodation to the time factor, that even though I've decided that this is my expectation, in my expectation, I need to leave room for when the things don't happen the way I want them to. Because I think when we have that acceptance of things are not happening the way that I want to, it can really relieve our anxieties, and it can make us even calmer. So that is it with adulting anxieties and my views on what causes anxiety in adulting. Let me know, what are your opinions about this? What are some of your experiences in trying to figure out this thing as adulting? And yes, do remember, guys, if you enjoy any of my videos, please press that like button. If you have something to say, do comment it on the comment section. Some people say it in my WhatsApp, that's also fine. I think some people are not shy, and that is fine. If you feel you have been watching, if you know that you've been watching my videos without subscribing, please click that subscribe button. My videos are absolutely free. If you think this is a conversation that may be helpful to someone, press that share button. I will see you next week, Monday at 7 p.m. sharp. If I don't share the link on my social media platforms, do come and check after 7 or on 7 if the video is up on my channel. But 7 p.m. sharp every Monday, my videos are out. I'll see you next week with one of my other talks or conversations.